Patreon, and we would very much appreciate that. But in all seriousness, it's great to be able to do this in cash for you guys. If you have something, we really appreciate any support that you have for us. But we have a color change here. Changing it up here is Fusion. We've got spawning in the top right-hand corner of Orbital Shipyard. It's RayReign.
And spawning down in the bottom left, we have got our red Protoss TA Pros Fusion. So pretty similar to Dusk Towers. Orbital Shipyard seems to be a favorite among all players, especially tonight.
Absolutely. It allows you to play in a similar style, in sort of the most in the middle of the road, balanced style, solid, safe words like this sort of come into mind when these maps show up. And a lot of players feel that if you have less variability, if you can play sort of safe, then the better player is going to come out on top. Most of the time, if you think you're the better player, you're going to be one playing the safe builds, and the other player is going to go for something crazy maybe. So playing on this kind of a map is just, you feel like, okay, if I'm the better player, I'm going to win.
Yeah, and there's just slight differences in builds this time. We had a bit of a Nexus first again from RayReign, excuse me. Yeah, from Fusion. And now he's getting his 2 gateways, and then RayReign opted for a little bit later Nexus and is going gate core, but it's these slight differences that if you use them to their best, it'll start to show.
Absolutely. No one runs away with a game in the first 5 seconds unless, of course, you're doing a crazy Reaper proxy. But other than that, you're going to be in these initial moves. We start to see small edges coming out. And like you said, we're seeing that edge there. Double gas, Cybernetics core coming out. And as well, we have 2 gateways for only one of our players here. Single gate for RayReign. That's going to open up some of these minerals. Let's see how RayReign wants to spend them. It's really what it's all about.
One adept here for RayReign. It is being rallied across the map. Fusion, though, is going to have 2. They are being chronoed. If they meet the adept for RayReign, RayRein's adept might not have much time in this world, but we'll see if they do meet.
Oh, wow. Well, we know what all those minerals were for.
Yep.
Pylons are a thing, right? We talked about this. Pylons are totally a thing. Oh my god, and the mothership core is coming, right? It's
on the way. We've already got a photon overcharge from one pylon here from Fusion, and we've got adepts trying to take down the rest of the pylons, but there's still a lot out here for RayReign. There are 3 more pylons out. One of the probes is not dead yet. One of the adepts has arrived to do some damage. But that mothership core is just really far away, so actually,
I don't know about this.
These pylons are going to fall. That was a lot of minerals that RayReign just lost here.
Yeah, I don't think this was particularly well timed. All this is going to get cleaned up before any photon overcharges can come down. I don't know in what scenarios this works out. It looks like he's going to get a couple photon overcharges over here. So, maybe that big investment, if it pays off as far as being able to take out this base and be a base ahead, maybe it's worth it?
Maybe, but how many minerals were lost there? 700 for those pylons?
Yeah.
That's a lot of minerals.
Pretty tough scenario right now. Not a situation I'd like to be in at this point in time, but he looks like he's pretty committed to this. He's got 2 more photon overcharges available, but I don't think he can kill this Nexus. It's just like delaying mining.
And you know what? We've got a bunch of stalkers now coming out. Some of them could just kind of suicide there into the overcharge and just try and get one of those pylons or the mothership core down. And one of the pylons is brought down, so the next one probably won't last too long either.
Yeah, and that looks like that's it for the very, very strange move here. And to time here since go ahead and take a look and see who comes out on top out of all this, and it's RayReign by a large margin. Not only is my voice a robot, which happens sometimes, you know. There's regular Jack and there's 8-bit Jack. I will try to fix that as soon as this thought is done. But not only was he preventing mining from happening over there, but he was also preventing Fusion from making workers out of that Nexus. So he's got a 42 to 34 worker lead right now.
That's true. So that does actually do a lot there for RayReign. Fusion is going to come down and do a drop, try and come back here. He's going to try and take out some probes here with these stalkers. But RayReign, I think he's kind of ready to push this back. And Mothership Core is here too, to just do its photon overcharge thing and just push the entire attack back.
Yep, nicely done. And helps equalize a little bit. Couple workers killed, 41 to 36 now. And that third base, that early third base, or earlier third base, is being taken here by Fusion. So despite the fact that his economy was stunted for a while, he's coming back harder and saying, okay, well, I have to catch up in economy. Going to take this quick third base. And no real aggression coming out as it's getting down. We do have a small gateway force coming across the map, but we've got one Immortal out, another Immortal on the way. I really don't see RayReign being able to punish this.
Yeah, with an Immortal already out, as well as some really well-placed pylons here for Fusion, RayReign, he's going to have a really hard time here. He is really going to have to work some magic to really break this force. There are now 2 MOs. This is going to be pretty tough.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure he's going to see this and just say, yeah, I'm not going in there. I think it would be a mistake to move forward in those kind of situations. Remembering that pylons are a thing. Very important. He is finishing up Blink, though, and he's going to have a Warp Prism and an Observer. So now with these reinforcements, I think he might be able to do some fancy maneuvers. Might even be gearing up to put a force field on the ramp after a Blink.
Ooh.
Let's see, this is not scouted. The sentries are in position. Blink up is ready. Going to move forward, try to maybe bait some units out over here.
They do have that force field there on the ramp. Oh, a recall.
Oh, what a move. He recalls. I think this force field's going to run out, and he can just move and re-force field in a second, though. Looks like he does. Nicely done. The re-force field. Oh, no, but he's getting attacked from the high ground. He needs to move out of the way. Does manage a blink off there. And a force field is down as well. Nice positional play. RayReign taking a little bit of extra damage unnecessarily, for the most part, really well. A lot of force field left over here. He needs a Warp Prism to really deal with this effectively, but he doesn't have it. Going ahead and blinking now, though. Nice way to deal. Throws down one more force field.
The Warp Prism, it gets taken out.
Oh, the cost efficiency right now. Look at that. Nexus with 23 hit points does finish it off. Nicely done. RayReign with some really fun play there.
Yeah, that was pretty, well, actually that was pretty impressive from both players. What with the recall.
Yeah.
And the blink with the force field.
Excellent reaction. And in this time, the important part here is that RayReign has managed to establish a third base. So coming back, managing to punish that earlier third base from Fusion. He's got a lead as far as army, as far as workers, bases. He's looking really strong right now.
Yeah, taking down that third base was huge for RayReign. Fusion is trying to get it back. Fusion, he does have 4 Immortals, and that's going to be pretty nice versus RayReighn's Stalker-heavy army, but, you know, the mining, it's going to start showing itself. It's going to start showing, you know, it's going to start showing in RayReighn's army.
Absolutely. And also keep in mind, Robotics Bay just finishing up right now, and a second Robo being built, as long as that first one didn't get killed off. Yeah, that is 2 Robo. So we're going to have double Robo Disruptor production here. In the very beginning stages, right after release, the Blink Stalker Disruptor was very popular, very strong in those first couple of tournaments. And then we started moving away from that into more Charge Lot Archon kind of a composition, being a little bit more common. But we have Fusion here going for that Disruptor Ball, and A lot of this is going to be about micro. RayReighn's force, though, just sheer power of numbers here is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, we've got 80
Oh my
supply
god.
for RayReign compared to Fusion's 51. But here we go. RayReign
Oh
blinks forward.
no. Absolutely crushed. Kills the Disruptor before it even gets a hit off. Mothership Core down as well. Immortals being targeted down. Blinks everywhere, all over the place. This massive force from RayReign is coming crushing in here. We have some reinforcements trying to make their way, but the blink on top is going to seal the deal. GG! RayReign comes out victorious.
GG, well played. That initial pylon rush there from RayReign, you know, I feel like that
It
almost...
worked.
Yeah.
I mean, he was ahead at the end of everything, so it worked. Like, it was so weird.
It was. And like you said, at first we're like, oh, he has to be so behind. But when you look at it and you realize what damage those pylons have done, it did start to set RayReign ahead.
Yeah, he was 40 workers at 26 when that rush was over, when it was finally the dust had settled. He had built, like, I think it was close to 10 pylons. It might have been 9 or 8, but it was quite a few. And it's almost like the interest, the initial pylons that were in the front, or rather were in the main base, were sort of there to distract the ones in the back. But it looks like RayReign is going to tell us the story. His Mothership Core did not want to leave the base.
Oh.
And that was why. It was a mistake with the control of the Mothership Core. Mothership Core was like, no, I'm staying home and protecting the base. And he's like, you can recall. I need you out in the front. No, not doing it. And that's tough, you know, when your Mothership Core doesn't listen to you. It happens.
Oh, my Mothership Core doesn't
sometimes.
listen to me either. It's usually doing the opposite though. I'm like, no, Mothership Core, don't get ahead of everybody else.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
come back.
Yeah. So, even more impressive though. How crazy would it have been if that build had gone off in the normal fashion? The Mothership Core would have been there on time to, you know, overcharge those 7 pylons in the main. That would have been crazy. I'm a little sad.
Yeah.
That we didn't get to see it. So I believe that's it, and it'll be a PvP finals now between RayReign and Peely.
It will.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break, but don't go anywhere because next up we have the only best of 5 of the night. It's going to be very special. We're going to see more maps than we usually do, unless it's a 3-0. We'll see you later.